Hey, it's your boy Saeed.
And your girl Robin.
And we are back as you venture travel.
Whoop, whoop.
Thanks for joining. Always happy to see you.
Yeah.
Before we get started, as always, like, subscribe, comment. You'll hear me say that again at the end, but like, subscribe, comment.
It really helps our channel.
Jumping in real quick today to give some embarkation tips for a trip on Carnival Paradise. If you've been following our videos, we're going on a family trip here in a few weeks. So just wanted to check back in with a few high-level tips for your embarkation day. What you want to do to prep for that at a high level, and then when the day comes, the things you want to keep in mind so that you have a smooth entry onto the ship and you can begin your vacation in style.
Yeah, and many of these tips we've already talked about in detail in our other videos, so we'll link those below. But this is just a quick refresher that you want to watch right before you go on your cruise. And even though we're talking about Carnival Paradise and the port of Tampa specifically, this applies to many of your Carnival ports. So it'll still be very helpful information, so make sure you stay on to the end.
So, number one, like she said, we're leaving from the port of Tampa on the Carnival Paradise. So, first thing we want to just highlight here quickly, Tampa has multiple cruise terminals, multiple ports there. Double check which port is for your ship. Last thing you want to do is go to Terminal 1 and you're leaving from Terminal 3. So, double check that. And then also, when you're figuring out your time and travel to the port, expect traffic. So, you want to build in some buffer time so that you're not rushing in the last minute trying to get to the terminal, get your bags checked and all those things. So expect traffic at the port. There are a lot of people that are joining that boat just like you are that day. And build that out and you'll be good to go.
The next thing is make sure that you stick to your arrival time and check-in. So if you recall, you should have already checked in on your Carnival Hub app. You should have selected a time. You want to stick to that time. Now, you might be a little upset because you didn't get the time that you wanted. You say you wanted to get on at 10:30. You couldn't get on till 1:30. Don't just show up at 10:30 and think you're going to get on. Carnival has become strict with this, especially since the pandemic. So you might be stuck waiting outside in the hot sun, and that's not a good way to start your vacation. So make sure you stick to your time. Now, you still do want to build in a little buffer time because we know things can happen. So if you are driving to the port or if you're using a ride share, try to arrive about 45 to 60 minutes beforehand, just so you can make sure you're getting to the right place, give you some time to walk and all of those things. So you want to not arrive. You want to stick to your time, but still give yourself some buffer time as well. And always when you arrive, make sure that you have your boarding pass and your ID handy so that you'll be ready for security and check-in.
ID. Always have your ID.
That's important.
Now, you arrive, it's on embarkation day. What am I going to do with my car? How am I going to get there? Two options. One, you can prepay for parking. So the Port of Tampa, in our case, does have a couple of parking lots that are run by the port that you can utilize. And you can prepay and reserve those spaces.
And the Tampa port, the parking is pretty reasonable.
Right.
I think it's about $15 a day. So that's pretty reasonable.
So we always recommend the prepay. Really prepay for a lot of stuff. Generally, when you prepay for things in general, you're going to get everything being equal a better deal. So prepay for your parking, lock in your spot, save you some time versus having to hustle in with everybody that day trying to pay at the terminal that day. Also, you can consider lots that maybe are not in the terminal. Maybe they're a block or two away. You might save yourself a few bucks doing that too. And if you're staying at a hotel that's close to the port, you may even want to look at what rates the hotel that you're staying at may offer. In some cases, they offer free shuttles to the port, or they may even offer a flat rate where you can park at the hotel, for maybe a discounted rate.
And then they'll have a shuttle
that can take you to the port from there. So always consider those options as a plan B if parking at the terminal is not feasible for you. And then lastly, if you're coming in, we don't recommend coming in the day of your cruise, but people do. But first, if you're going to be getting transportation to the port and you're going to do rideshare, Uber or Lyft, get an XL, get a bigger vehicle, primarily because they have to accommodate your luggage. Your human bodies are fine, but those bags need space.
Yeah, and it's also good to pre-schedule those ride shares if you can. Even if you're coming in the day before, you get it from the hotel, or if you're getting it from the airport, because that's a busy time. Everybody's trying to get to the port, so you can get those surge prices, and you might be hard to find. So try to schedule those if you can. You can do those within those rideshare apps.
Right. Now, like I said, you might have mentioned if you're coming in same day, again,
We don't
recommend it, but it happens. We've actually had to do it before ourselves, so it does happen. If you're coming in same day, you can pre-book Carnival's shuttle transfer service, where they will bring you from the airport, particularly to the port, or you can book a private transfer. Now, if you're going to do private, we do recommend Viator. That's a vendor that we utilize quite often, and we also recommend other clients. They provide reliable private transportation. The link is below, so take a look there and lock yourself in with that if you need to, so that, again, at the end of the day, you can get to the port on time.
And one thing I just also want to clarify, with the Tampa port, it does, like he said, have a lot of parking lots around. And if you park there, you don't have to like walk from those. Most of those parking lots will offer a shuttle service for you parking there. So if you can save some money, and they'll still have the shuttle service. So don't think it's something you have to like drag your luggage a mile away. Okay, that's not going to happen. Also, I suggest to eat before you arrive. I know a lot of us want to wait and get to that buffet or get to your favorite restaurant on Carnival, but remember, sometimes it can take a long time. You can be out in the sun, you're waiting in line, and then the day, embarkation day, the Lido deck and the buffet is packed. So sometimes there are long lines, and we do not want you to be hangry, okay? That's not a good way to start your vacation. No. So if you, as recommended, if you've come in the day before, see if your hotel has a free continental breakfast. Just have something on your stomach. That's just good so you're not hangry, and it's also good so you don't pass out. It's hot, and we don't want you passed out. So make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you have something on your stomach so that it could just be a more pleasant experience, and you're not going crazy as you're waiting for your food once you get on the ship.
Right. Nobody wants to starve. Packing, carry-ons particularly. You've arrived at the port, right? You've checked your big bags to the porters, but you still have that carry-on. And you probably say, well, what do I have in my carry-on, Saeed? Well, glad you asked. High-level items, important items. First, documents, IDs, boarding passes, paperwork that maybe the cruise line is going to require of you. That needs to be with you. Do not have it in that bag that's now rolling around somewhere in the ship waiting to get to your room. Keep that with you. Medications, toiletries, in case your bags arrive late. You want to maybe have
because
something.
Sometimes your bags that you give to the porters, they might not arrive till after dinner time. Right. So you want to have these items so that you can get your vacation started before, even before your rooms are ready or you get your bags.
Right. Other kind of thing, we shared this before. Reusable water bottle in particular. Again, you want to stay hydrated. A reusable water bottle is something you can fill to the various items on the ship, and so keep that. And then in the drink policy particularly, this is for Carnival. If you are over 21, you can bring a bottle of wine, and anyone, regardless of age, one bottle per adult.
And 750 milliliters standard.
So a standard size. Also, anyone, kids included, can bring a 12-pack of canned or carton drinks. Soda,
non-alcoholic.
Juice, sparkling water, non-alcoholic. Yes. So keep that in mind for your carry-on.
And they have to be on your carry-on. That is not an option. They have to be on your carry-on. If they're in your bag, they will confiscate it. And you can't bring like a big old cooler like you're tailgating. It needs to be like a small 12 by 12 by 12 soft cooler. It has to be able to be picked up and set on the security conveyor. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about how you are going to bring those items. I always recommend bringing it like in a rolling bag to make it easy, because those things can get heavy.
Right.
The next thing is, once you get to the port, you're going to you have the option to drop off your big luggage to the bag handlers, because once again, you don't want to have to drag that around the ship until your room is ready. So make sure that you have some small bills that you can tip the baggage handlers. They typically do not work for Carnival, so they're not part of that gratuity that you're paying. They typically are workers of the port, and they work off of tips, or tips are a part of their wages. So make sure you have small bills. It's usually about $2 to $3 per bag is a good amount to have. So make sure you have that available.
Now, you're on board and you're trying to, find something to eat. We talked earlier about if you don't have something on your stomach, right? So Carnival Paradise is a smaller ship in our case, but these options are still going to be available generally regardless of the Carnival ship you're on. Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana Cantina, the Pizza Pirate, or the deli station. So again, if you're not, you're trying to avoid the Lido deck, which is the buffet because it's just crazy crowded, these are options that you could consider as a plan B to get some food, and they generally may not be as crowded as everybody, flooding the buffet.
I don't know. God's Burger Joint is the spot. That might be just
Now,
as crowded.
tasty.
But I'm probably going to stand in line if that's my favorite.
So you might want to take your chances there. And again, like I said, you want to, if possible, avoid the Lido deck because, again, everybody on the ship, that's the first thing they're thinking.
Yeah. And once you get your food, most people think, okay, we have to stay out on the Lido deck and like that's where everybody is while they're waiting for their room. But remember, there's so many places on all the floors where there's seating. You can take your food. You don't have to stay on the Lido deck.
Right, and just sit there.
Yeah,
tight with
yes.
everybody.
And you can go inside where there's air conditioner, there's lounges. So spread out, find space so that you're not like sitting on top of each other. Everybody's carrying around their luggage. It can just be so crowded. So you can make sure that you can find those hidden spaces so that you have a more relaxing experience.
And last other pro tip real quick. If you're on a larger Carnival ship or a newer one, go into the Carnival Hub app. There may be other food options that may be available to you on Embarkation Day outside of kind of the main basic ones that we just mentioned. So take a look there as well.
Mm-hmm. And just as a reminder, before you go, you want to double check things that you should not pack. We've done a whole video about this. We're going to link it here. Just some quick ones that people don't often know, like irons, steamers, power strips. Those are things that you cannot bring. For more details, watch our video. We'll tell you in detail. They'll just help you make sure that things don't get confiscated and doesn't delay your embarkation.
Right. Now, before we close, terminal process and getting on board. So you're arriving at the port, your bags are with the porters, you're ready to go. First thing, you got to go through security. They're going to take a picture because they got to see what you look like. And then you want to wait for your boarding zone or your boarding group to be called. So remember that those are things that are part of the process to ultimately keep you safe. So going through security, taking your photo, waiting for your boarding zone. Now, once you've got on the...
And they're probably going to try to take your picture about 2 or 3 times for you to start paying for those.
Right. Now, once you're on board, the other main thing you want to do before you really get your vacation started is make sure you complete the muster drill. Whether it's going to be electronic or whether you have to go to a location to check in, make sure that you get the directions on how to complete the muster drill and try to do that as soon as you get on board if possible. The sooner you get that over with, the quicker you can get to enjoying the rest of your vacation.
And remember, you want to start your vacation on the right way. Embarkation Day can be hectic. It can be a lot of things. And if you don't go with that right mindset, you can start out stressed out. Don't do that. Just have in your mind, we're on vacation. This is going to be fun. Bring your patience. Be flexible. Just roll with the flow. And that's going to start you with a positive mindset, a positive experience. So you won't be stressed on Embarkation Day. That positive mindset is going to go a long way to set the tone for your cruise.
So hopefully this has helped. Again, we just want to give some quick tips to make your Embarkation Day a breeze, to make it smooth as possible. In the comments, let us know what's maybe an Embarkation Day tip that you abide by. If you're an experienced cruiser, something that has worked for you to make that process just a little bit smoother. Put it in the comments so that another fellow cruiser may be able to utilize that. As always, we thank you for joining. We appreciate the love. Let us know if there's information that you're wanting us to share with you so that, again, your cruise journeys can be enjoyable. And as always, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you next time.
Peace.